What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. And today is finally the day we get on the exhaust. And I've actually been pushing it back a little bit because I really wanted to think about it before I did something that I would kind of regret, that I didn't really like. And we kind of have to, we've been forced down that path. So before we start, Eddie wants to say hi. Say hi, Eddie. So Eddie has a little bit of a skin condition, so no more pork rinds for Eddie, so we have to go get him real treats. So yeah, he's kind of real sheddy and he has some little spots on his back, and bulldogs are notorious for those types of allergies and things. Both my other bulldogs had the same, so no junk food for E-Dog today. So I have the turbo and everything in there. You can see it's still sitting in there, and I have that big giant 5-inch U-bend. I'll show you guys. You've seen it in all the back of the videos, all the stuff. It's sitting there in big old mamma jamma. And I came out one time and I was trying to stuff it. I really wanted to fit it behind the front tire, like here, but on the passenger side, and then kick it out, you know? And with the wheel straight, it would kind of fit, but as soon as you turn the wheel, this starts to swing in and it gets close to the frame, and then your window of opportunity goes away and you'd be rubbing your tire with hot exhaust gases. So turbo is here, and then option A was the hood, and then option B was the fender. So I don't think either that I have enough room to sneak it all the way back and down. And honestly, that big old 5-inch pipe is heavy, man. Like if I started getting it way away from the turbo and trying to go down and back and out, I mean, that one piece over there is heavy. So we're just gonna do the race car thing. I know we're trying to build a fast street car, but I'm just gonna make my life simple, and we've decided to go with option B. So today we're gonna cut holes in fenders, which I kind of really not too into, but it is par for the course. So here are my pluses and deltas of doing either one. So if you do the hood exit, which I had it for a little while, but I didn't drive the car as much. When you fire it up on the 85 or you're cruising and it's spitting, it spits on the window and then like goes onto the car, right? Mainly the window, because it comes up and it'll hit the windshield. So there was that. So the fender doesn't offer the windshield spatter, but I have wiring. So we'll take the hood off and I'll show you, but I have wiring that runs underneath here. So I'm gonna have to make sure that that wiring is really wrapped and safe, so we're not burning it with the exhaust. So let's take the hood off, eyeball it, measure it, and cut up a fender. Here's a look at it with the hood off. So this used to be my boost controller, and then my old turbo was like over here. So we will take this off and save it. This will hold my boost control wherever we decide to mount that. I've got my V-band on here, and then we'll have to account for suspension travel. So I'm thinking we'll turning just go up and away from the tire, and then we'll end it. We need about 2 feet roughly of pipe. So yeah, there's a look at all the majesty and the wonder. So let me take this off, and then you can see these little guys riveted here. It's probably hard to see, but let's see. We can see one. We got these little guys that hold the wiring. So I just had it zip tied. So wherever this goes across, we'll make sure we use like a stainless tie, and we'll wrap the wires up real nice, and we'll do like a good chunk on either side. So let's start by taking this off, and then we can kind of measure an eyeball what we're gonna do. And I think we're on jack stands right now, so maybe we'll take it off the jack stands. Maybe I'll put something under this tire to kind of bring it up so there's more weight, and then that way we can get an idea of how far up this comes, so we don't touch this. And like I said, I think just safe as easy, we'll just kind of rotate it out and then kind of go up and out this general vicinity. So let me take this off. We will mess with this. We'll time lapse it a little bit, and then I'll let you know where the decision, when the decision has been made, you and I will cut the fender together and cry a little bit. We are at a decent stopping point. I'm trying to keep the fit pretty good. This one got a little away from me, but I think we'll be okay. We'll live to fight another day with that. But the plan is to actually use the TIG welder again and force myself to do it. I could make this thing together and I could have the gaps way more wonky and just called it a day, but we want to learn. And then I have some stuff coming. Hopefully Amazon drops it off, and we got a new gas lens set up for the machine for my TIG. Even if it doesn't show up, we'll just run the stuff that I have on there. I just got a standard tip and all that stuff on there. For now, this is just regular steel, and again, it's practice time, and hoping the larger tubing is a little easier to do, but we'll find out. So the other reason it's a good stopping point is this goes up, and you kind of saw the video, it goes up and it basically goes to the back of this. So we'll be able to bolt this down and then have that pointing where it's going to go, and then I'll take a marker or something and we'll mark the inside of the fender, and then we're going to figure out how to cut said fender, make a hole so it can go through, and then the last part of it will be where it comes out of the fender. So I would like to keep it below this hard break on the fender. You know, you can see where it dips in and then it has this, so I'd like it to be below here, which is where I think we're aiming. Once we start cutting though, it is what it is. So, and then I should have enough room for suspension travel. This thing's a bit lower than it's going to actually ride because we're adding weight to it. So I may even actually, I think I got to get new front springs, because those are a little adjusted. The adjustment's kind of out of them, considering we're hanging weight up front and this turbo weighs more. Then we're gonna have the water box out there too. So anyway, we will come back, we'll bolt this on, we'll make our mark, and then we're gonna YOLO again and cut a hole here. And then at some point too, once we get this cut and kind of hanging out, we can finish these. Like, these aren't really finished, they're just there. And then obviously the hole might need to be a little bit bigger, we could adjust that or whatever. And then same with this, I want diameter around it, and then we'll cut it larger than it needs to be at a certain point, and then we'll put a piece of metal and rivet that to the fender, so if it moves around or touches, it's going to hit aluminum or whatever we can make, and I'll do the same for that guy. So that's the plan. We'll take a quick break, eat some lunch, and we'll come back and mark that off and YOLO a hole in my fender. Can't wait. We finished up lunch. You guys watched me make the little pie cut dude, and then I made a little extension so it doesn't quite touch the fender. I don't know if you can see it back in there, it's kind of dark. I'll show you. Oh, watch how it runs into stuff. So there it is. It's not quite touching it, but I believe it's aimed, and then I can clock this whole thing. It's aimed, I think, at what I want. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time, like quadruple a million times checking, and because I think we can clock it a little more if we had to. But I think we're probably good where it is. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a marker and we're gonna run it along this edge here and then scribe on the fender, right? And then that'll leave me a mark on the inside. And then an easy way to do it, because if you're like, you'd never nail this. Like if you went to the outside and tried to measure and look at it, good luck. So we'll make a black line. I'll show you guys what we're left with. And then before I get even froggy off of that, we'll punch some holes, like some little 1/8 inch holes around, kind of like in a circle, and we'll see what it looks like on the outside of the vehicle and kind of where we're at. And then I should be able to come and cut it from the outside. I think it's kind of what I'm hoping. So let me eyeball this thing, and then we'll let the anxiety take over and we'll cut this. So the exhaust is out of the way. That is my mark, you know, because the pipe goes at an angle, so it's not a complete circle, it's like oblong. Then we taped up on the back side. Yeah. You know, you want to do race car things and you want to do dumb stuff, sometimes you have to compromise. So I'm sorry, Malibu, but you're getting a hole, well, a third hole in the bodywork that's a monster of a deal. So let's I'm gonna drill a bunch of little pilot holes, and then we'll get the shape of it, and then I should be able to kind of cut it from out here. Ta-da! So that's not the finished piece, that's just the pipe that's I have to make sure it would fit. So there is the big mamma jamma, and then this will slide in there, And then we've got a gap all the way around. It's not a crazy gap, but it's not touching. So you see, a little gappy gap, and then woo-wee, look at that freaking thing. Hello in there. Anyways, so what I'll do now, I'll bring you guys back. I'm gonna probably clean this edge up, tack weld this piece so it sticks out, and then we can make our mark and then figure out how we want this to exit. Obviously, I don't think I want a big old mamma jamma, but the other thing too is there's a boundary layer of air because of aerodynamics, which Ryan was explaining to me going over. And I had this idea, but he explained it better than I can. But I was like, man, I don't want to cut this flush because I don't want to suck a bunch of exhaust in the passenger window. So I do have to protrude it, but I want to get it off the bodywork so it's off of that boundary layer of air, so it'd be its new thing. So maybe we'll do one of these and like kick it a little bit or something. I'm gonna play with it. I'll bring you guys back and show you what the final shape of it looks like. And then that's gonna be it. We're gonna have to go sit and struggle with the old TIG welder, but I don't think I'll beat you guys up with that video. We'll show you the finished product maybe. We'll see how far we get, but let's get this thing on there and then we'll get a look at the completed deal. We can peel the tape off and cry a little bit about ruining my fender, but hey, that's racing. Well, we now have a giant hole in the fender. I'll show you the fit and finish on it. I have to pull it all off. I might weld it up tonight or something. We'll see how froggy I get. I need to take a break because I'm getting frustrated with stuff, and that is life. So it was mainly this. So you see how much shorter this is compared to that. Well, I was trying to take this off and then it stopped and stripped, and so I have a different bolt or a nut on here. I stole it from this guy because it was the same thread pitch, and then I cut this and started it again, so just to get this thing to bolt on. So I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to buy that V-band clamp again, but it is stainless and it's just spot welded, so I'm thinking if I can get one of these guys, steal it from like another V-band clamp, you know, we'll cut this here, put the new guy in and weld that back together. I think is the plan, but for now it goes on there fine. But I'm like, man, to get one of those V-band clamps, I might just, maybe I'll just buy an extra one and I'll get a new one, and that could be my backup. So if it happens again, at least I have one, because I don't know where you're gonna find that on the road, right? But here's a look at it. Bing. Yeah, we got a giant hole in the fender. So all I did was I contoured this, and then I eyeballed it and drew it to get it off of the panel. So we're about an inch or so off the panel. And yeah, man, it is a giant hole. But the thing that's kind of cool, aside from working on it, if it was running, I guess you could stand off to the side. I mean, this is all open, dude. You're not going to burn yourself or scald yourself. I had it coming up out of the hood. You have that pipe that's in your way. So I do like this better. Obviously, if it was running, it'd be kind of a pain. But typically, you're wearing pants, right? Because it's going to hit me right in the Jones right here. And you'd kind of know that because you don't have anything in your arms, and you touch your arm to a hot pipe, and it's, you know, you just stick to it, it's game over. It sucks. So we have a decent air gap here. I'll probably end up wrapping this portion of the pipe, and then again, all my electronics go on these little guys that are up in here. I have those little things, so everything probably from about here to, heck, man, I might just from here forward, I might wrap all this just in case it came loose and touched any of this. So we'll see. We'll save that fight for another day, but that is it. I'm gonna calm down, go drink some Topo Chico or something, relax for a minute, because getting toward the end and then having that V-band stick was like, like it's a major setback. So I'm glad I was able to cut it and finish this thing. So let me know what you guys think of our big giant hole that we have in the fender. Till next time, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.